What's up, everybody? This is Daniel Lansman, and this is day 19 of 50 Days of Data. As promised, we're going to be talking about AR and VR today. The reason I want to talk about these is because these are some new emerging formats of, places where companies are going to be able to collect massive amounts of data, and I just want to kind of talk through it with you guys to put it out there and see what your thoughts are and give you my thoughts. So if you're not familiar, Google came out with a contact lens that supposedly goes in your eye and detects the sugar levels in your tears, and they said that that's to make sure that you're not going into a diabetic coma or something like that. Well, that's all fine and dandy from a medical perspective. Like, I don't doubt that their technology does that, but realistically, Google Glass failed, and I believe that they're trying to get a thing into or onto your body in order to make it so they can capture the person's like augmented landscape. So what do I mean when I say augmented landscape? If you guys aren't familiar with augmented reality, basically what augmented reality is a virtual overlay on top of physical reality. So I want you to imagine you're standing on the corner and you're looking at a stop sign, and then as you're looking at that stop sign, let's say there's a park out in the distance, and on the slide of the park there could theoretically be like an advertisement, or in the case of Pokemon Go, if you guys are familiar with that, like there could be a Pokemon running around down there. So whoever owns the hardware for augmented reality is going to most likely control the ecosystem, much like Apple controls the iTunes store or the App Store. So the data that can be captured from that is most likely boundless. Not only are you going to be giving off location data, but the company that owns the underlying infrastructure can see like what it is that you're interacting with, what it is that you looked at, what it is that got your attention, what didn't get your attention, to theoretically optimize a augmented reality experience for you specifically. So let's say they are just testing you, and all of a sudden you're walking down the sidewalk and they're like, oh, cactus, boom. And then you don't look at the cactus, but they put a dog, an artificial dog there, and then you look at the dog. Well, they know that you're not really going to pay attention to cactus, but you're a dog person. So now what does that tell them? Well, there's tons of things that they could extrapolate from that. We're not going to go into it, but those are just some of the things. Like, on top of that, like, they're going to be able to track how fast you're going, where you're going, and everything. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work yet. I'm not exactly sure if companies are doing this or not yet, but I believe that they are going to be doing it, and whoever owns the hardware and figures out, or the platform that actually like captures that data, will actually be extremely interesting and be able to profit from it. I think the same can be said for virtual reality. It runs along the same vein as what I was talking about with augmented reality. I would say that the difference with virtual reality is you're living in a completely virtual, not living, excuse me, you're experiencing a completely virtual world, and the virtual world can actually be changed on a dime, right? So let's say the underlying platform of the virtual reality software that's running, that you're accessing through your headset, I want you to think about that for a second. You're in space, and you're like flying around in a little spacecraft, and everything is cool, and like, oh, there's a star, oh, there's a meteor, oh, there's Falcon Heavy, like, what's up, Elon? Basically, then they can just be like, boom, all right, now you're in a roller coaster. And it can change immediately, and I'm not exactly sure how these companies are going to necessarily like modulate that, or if that's going to be determined by the user. But there's games now that are like console games that have algorithms that build their worlds for them. So what is it to say to like stop a company from using an artificially intelligent algorithm to optimize your experience to stimulate you in a way such that you are excited or titillated or whatever they want you to feel or whatever you want to feel, that they might be able to access that information based on your emotional responses? Because, you know, right now there's stuff like natural language processing, there's facial recognition technology, and it's going to get to a point where computers are going to know everything that you want them to know and everything that you didn't want them to know. You're not going to be able to hide, like, oh, maybe you have a miniature muscle twitch and the computer will be like, oh, you really like that even though you said that you didn't really like that. And they're just going to know and collect that data, and, you know, hopefully they'll be able to protect that data. You know, security is something that we haven't talked about. Maybe it's time to, you know, talk about that tomorrow. But, you know, for now, just think about all the different permutations of data that could potentially be captured from artificial intelligence with augmented reality and virtual reality when coupled together. I think it's going to be extremely powerful. We don't know what we don't know yet, and that's why it's interesting. So if you guys like what I'm saying, please subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate all the feedback so far. Hopefully you guys are getting something out of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down there. So really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Cheers.